Hi friends and colleagues, I'm Dr. Sharad Kumar, and in this video we'll be discussing about ultrasound guided shoulder injections. So the overview is that we'll be discussing about glenohumeral joint, the preferred approach for injection, the efficacy of ultrasound guidance, the requirements for the injection, how to position the patient, how to prepare the probe before using it, how to visualize the joint, and how to give the injection in plane. And we'll be telling about what in plane injection is. So the shoulder joint actually consists of three active joints: the glenohumeral, the acromioclavicular, and the sternoclavicular joint. However, for the purpose of this video, we'll be discussing only about glenohumeral joint injection. So the glenohumeral joint is a synovial joint. It is called a ball and socket joint, but it's not a true ball and socket joint. The reason is that the socket is created by the capsule as well as the rotator cuff. The glenoid itself is quite shallow and the capsule is very loose, and because of that the shoulder joint is one of the most mobile joints in the body. Shoulder pain is very common and it's the third most common musculoskeletal symptom after back pain and knee pain, for which medical care is sought. And apart from joint involvement, subacromial bursitis and rotator cuff injuries can also cause pain. When we're injecting the glenohumeral joint, there are three approaches: the anterior approach, the superior or superior-medial approach, and the posterior approach. Of the three approaches, the posterior approach is the most preferred one. It is less challenging technically. It is more accurate. Research has shown that the accuracy is increased in posterior approach. There are less tendons that we need to worry about. In anterior approach, there is a long head of biceps. The joint is more superficial posteriorly compared to anteriorly. And anteriorly, if we try to give the injection, the coracoid process can interfere with visualization of the needle tip. So because of these reasons, the posterior approach is better. Ultrasound guidance in cadaveric studies has shown that it improves the accuracy of injection. In the clinical study, ultrasound guided injections was given by rheumatology trainees who had received only 6-week training in ultrasound versus blind injection, which was given by senior rheumatology consultants. And you can see that the accuracy was much better by trainees with just ultrasound guidance. So for the requirements, apart from the needles and syringes, as well as the medications and betadine, gauze, as well as scissors and micropore, as well as sterile gloves, you need a non-sterile glove and a rubber band. Of course, you need a good ultrasound machine with a high frequency probe. Preferable would be a flat probe. A hockey stick would not be preferable, and neither would be a rounded probe. So how should you position the patient? Ideally, you can make the patient sit on a stool. The patient should be comfortable and the arm should be resting by the side. Slight external rotation is preferable. The forearm should be flexed and the hand should be palm up, and the physician should be positioned behind the patient. The probe, instead of using expensive sterile covers and sterile jellies, what you can do is you can apply jelly over the probe and then cover it with the non-sterile gloves, which can be secured in place with a rubber band, and then the whole thing can be sterilized by application of betadine and spirit. So once the patient is positioned, we have to mentally visualize the joint, and the transducer has to be placed just below the scapular spine. It has to be parallel to the scapular spine. Once you have visualized the glenohumeral joint, external rotation will help to visualize any effusion within the joint. So once you've positioned the probe, you can plan the injection. When you're planning the injection, there are two ways you can give it. One is in plane and the other is out of plane. So what is in plane injection? So this is an in plane injection where you can see the needle in the left hand corner, top corner, coming in. Whereas in an out of plane injection, the injection is given perpendicular at 90 degrees to the axis of the probe. So you can only see the tip of the needle. So here you can see the tip of the needle in the middle, which is moving. So once the patient is positioned, you have to clean the whole area. The betadine that you use to clean the whole area can also help to lubricate the probe and help in better visualization of the joint. So once you have placed the probe and visualized the joint, then you can introduce the needle. Preferable would be a lateral to medial approach. The reason is that there are suprascapular nerve and suprascapular artery and vein which are a bit medial to the glenohumeral joint, and we risk damaging them if we go from a medial to lateral approach. So under ultrasound guidance, we are introducing the needle in an in-plane approach. And once you introduce the needle, you'll be able to see the needle which have been demarcated here by the white arrows. So once you start injecting the joint, you can see that the joint capsule is stretching. And when the last amount of fluid goes in, the whole needle vibrates and becomes clearly visible. As the needle is withdrawn, you will be able to see the tip withdrawing out of the joint capsule.